Hi there, so I'm Lily from Body Mind Care, and this is the second video about my workshop on emotions. So this time we are gonna go into a bit of quantum physics. So why quantum physics and why there is something about emotions? Okay, so it's really important to have a little bit of understanding about quantum physics to understand how the human is reacting with emotions, and how, above all, how we can really change the pattern that we have, the fears, well, anything that is blocking us from being more happy in our life. Okay, so um, so yeah, it's really the basic of quantum physics. I am absolutely not a scientist person, um, but I've took all those details from a book, and from I've been learning and reading a few things, so I sort of understand the basic, and I think we don't need to be a geek to understand, but I think it's really important to have a better understanding right now. Okay, so I'm quite excited because I found that really interesting. Okay, so what is quantum physics? So basically, quantum physics is the study of the really tiny components that are smaller than electrons, that anything that is in a subatomic field, so the tiny, tiny little things. Okay, and in quantum on the quantum field, basically, they say that the world is made of 99.9% of energy and 0.01% of matter. Imagine that. It's just unbelievable. So everything is energy. This is energy, this is energy, I am energy, like like mainly, like I'm just only 0.01% of matter. So that is something quite incredible to to picture in our mind. So based on that, so oh, by the way, everything I'm saying is based on scientific study. Okay, it doesn't come from Venus. Okay, so, yeah, and so once you understand that, you sort of want to understand a bit more about it and say, oh, okay, what's beyond that? So basically, the physical world is made of subatomic particles such as electrons. So electrons is the negative charge that is turning, well, what we've learned at school, that is turning around, and why you, oh gosh, what's the name in English? Well, the proton, okay? So it's turning. And so basically, electrons are part of this the study of the quantum physics. And what they realized is that any little point that you can see here basically are some particles. It can be electrons, but it can be anything else also. And they are all just a potential because they are only energy at the beginning. So they are everywhere. That means they are potential, and therefore they can be everything and nothing at the same time. Okay, so in other words, everything is potential. So anything you're thinking is actually a potential of creation. Okay, and it's only when we start observing, and that is so important because in a lot of culture like Buddhism, for meditation, especially vipassana meditation, for example, it's observing the body. So it's not being the body, it's observing the sensation of the body. And when we start observing certain particle, it's when the potential becomes reality. I'll give you an example that happened to me like a couple of months ago. I was quite amazed. I got married a couple of months ago, and the lady that was doing the hair for me, she did the makeup also for me. So I'm not someone who's doing any makeup in normal life, and I didn't really want to spend much money on that for a one-time event. So I borrowed quite a lot. But she told me, oh, you want to come with me? We can go to the pharmacy. And I said, oh yeah, sure, why not? And it was amazing, because when I entered the pharmacy, and I've been several times, okay, Alexandria is not really big, and this pharmacy, I don't go often, but when I go, it's often for my eyes product. And so I know where I go, dang. And when we went, it's the first time that I realized that there was a full wall of makeup. I never seen it. So it's not that it doesn't exist, but in my reality, in my point of view, my perspective, I never seen it. But I was shocked, really. I was shocked. Did they created that last night? And she just laughed at me. No, it's been there for years. And I was like, whoa, okay, I'm on to something. And that really, it was just amazing. And I can give you other examples also. I had a friend a few years ago that she was pregnant, and when I met her, she was saying she got her baby, well, not quite young, but younger than the average, I'd say, but it doesn't matter. But what she was saying is, in her mind before, she never really thought about having a kid, or so she was doing her life, and she said, since I'm pregnant, I can see pregnant women everywhere. I can see women with prams, and I can see women with kids everywhere I'm looking. It's there, because she was going to be a mother. She created this observation and started to create what she needed at this point. And you have so on example, if you wanna buy a new car, suddenly you're gonna start to look at all the cars, and so many examples. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here, but I think you've got the picture, all right? So what is quite cool is, so that is an eye, okay, by the way. So this is our world, which is an infinite field of possibilities, basically, okay? Because everything at the beginning is energy, and it's only a potential. And it's only when we start observing that we will start creating our own world. That is so important to understand, and it's a game changer if you really, really start to get it. So why is that so much a game changer? It's because everything is possible. So your world, you create the way how you want. So the thoughts are part, because you are part of this whole world, okay? You are also energy. So your body is energy, your brain is energy. Remember with the brainwave that on the first episode? So all that is linked together. And what happens is, when you have some thought patterns that are negative, what's gonna happen? Well, you are gonna create in your own world some negative patterns everywhere, right? And negative because on your potential reality, what you're creating, because all that is negative, all the particles that are around you are going to be attracted, because they are the same level, at the same frequency. They are going to be attracted to it. So what's happening when you have negative thought pattern in your mind? You are going to create the reality, because when you are not in a good mood, you are going to create more. You're just attracted to it, okay? So I remember when I was teenager, in my 20s, I was depressed. I said in one of the first video that I nearly killed, I tried to kill myself, all right? But I remember back then, everything that was around in my life, I was attracting what I was vibrating to. And I was vibrating to fear, fear of the future, fear of being abused, fear of so many things. And what was happening? Well, I was attracting all that in my life. And so it's like a funnel, like, and or like a cycle, and it just get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point where some people take their life because they just don't know how to cope, because they don't understand the basic of that. Okay, but the good thing is when you start to understand that, and you know that there are exercises and there are plenty of tools to help you to get rid of those little things, like, for example, meditation, yoga, or anything that is mindfulness for your brain, for your body, hypnosis, swimming, sports. But even those sports can help, but I think you need to have something that really calms down your mind. It depends on the sport that you're doing. Basically, if it's competition, it will help, but you're still gonna have your mindset onto competition. So basically, you're creating that around you. So you're gonna be like angry at this person, or angry at yourself because you haven't been good enough. So it's really all the tools that can help you to understand that and start to get out of this negative thought pattern that we all have. Okay, it's our brain, it's our mental mind, it's our ego. So what we need, we don't need to destroy our ego. What we need to is just to tell him, hey, listen, at least I know you, I understand you, you're full of fear, but hey, we're gonna work together, and so we're gonna work together, and then I'm gonna help you, and so we are gonna be in alignment, and you will realize that this ego is not the king. Okay, he's just a tool for you to navigate in life. And what is important is by observing, we are just stepping back to have a wider range to understand better our life. I will do a third episode about that, because there is a really cool image and idea behind it, and that I'm sure you will understand, and that helped me so much when I was in my 20s, but I will talk about that in another video. So basically, what you need to understand is that our whole world is energy, and it's potential, infinite potential, which means you can create anything you want. So we have been, in our society, in our belief system, we have been conditioned, hopefully you understand it, to think negatively, because we are based on the fear, and I'm not gonna have enough money, I need to pay my bill, I don't have the perfect boyfriend because he needs to be like this or like that, I can't go to holidays because I don't have, I don't know, enough time. It can be something else than money. And so once you understand it, you can just start to erase with all the tools that you want, that you need, to get rid of all those things slowly by slowly, and replace it with something positive, something lighter. And the positive things are vibrating to a different level, or to different levels. There have been some studies done about frequencies and emotions and frequencies. So the dense emotions, the lower ones, are very, very dense frequencies, okay? And more you go to joy, love, etc., the frequencies are lighter and smoother, okay? So basically, for you to understand, is my purpose is for you to find the right tool for you to get rid of all those negative patterns, and replace them with that, because by observing, you realize that you are this quantum field, and that anything can be created. And I'll give you another example, right, for myself. Again, like, probably the best to talk about that. But I was someone who was really sad and stressed, and I am still, okay. I'm still learning every day, but within the last years, I really went beyond my fear, beyond. I started to work on myself by doing. So for me, it's meditation a lot. And hypnosis helped me quite a lot also, to really dismantle and go to the root of the issues, and some memories, like very, very old memories that was really holding me with some negative thoughts and emotions. And by going to the root and change them onto something more positive, I started to first change myself, and then I've seen things around me changing also, all right? I quit my job a few months ago, and before I quit my job, that was the most amazing thing that happened to me. So I won't go into details, but things happened in December for me at my other job that pushed me to, like, I'm over it. Like, I love this place. I love the people there, but I think I was at a point where I just couldn't anymore, because the only thing that was holding me, that was the fear of not being able to pay my mortgage every week. That was the only thing. Well, another one, but I won't go into this one. But and I made a decision. I was already, nearly in part-time, and I made a decision to myself as, I don't care. I will give my notice. I don't care if I will have enough clients for massage or hypnosis. I just give my notice, and I will see what's going to happen. The week after I made this decision, I finally had the energy to take into action my thought. Okay, that is really important, because you need to take action on what you think, because otherwise, if you say I want that, and you don't put anything into action, it won't happen. Okay, so you need to put yourself into action, to do something that towards what you are looking for. And so I went to town and started giving away some of my business cards, and I went to the cinema, all right, a little cinema in Clyde, and I talked to the right person, and they offered me a job, a part-time job, the perfect hours, and I could start, because I needed to give a 1 month's notice to my other job, and they say, yeah, that's fine, just, very, very helpful and very lovely people. Just only because I decided I don't care whatever's gonna happen, I do it. And because I've done this decision, everything opened up. And before, never would have had like a job coming out to me, all right? It was just unbelievable. This job was just the perfect amount of hours for me to pay my mortgage, right? And maybe $50 of food. But it gave me more time for giving massage, etc. But then after the coronavirus arrived, and I'm unemployed, but it doesn't matter, because it's an example just to show you, I'm not scared. I don't know what is going to be on the other side. It might be a bit long for people to trust again and start over. And cinema, people don't go to the cinema unless they have more money than, for paying bills and food. So we'll see how it's going to be. And but I'm confident, and I am not scared of what's going to happen, because I know now that the universe, this quantum field, is full of infinite possibilities. And it's when I decide, and with my heart, and with my and I trust, and I believe in myself, that I will create the life that I want. So for doing that, it's really important to get rid of all those thought pattern, those emotions that are part of our belief system, and that are well, they are pushing us back, okay, because we're still full of fear. So this is why it's really important to work on ourselves, especially right now, okay? We are in a lockdown. It is the best time ever. Not everyone is in lockdown. Some people still have to work. My husband has to work and is working quite hard, and so many people are still working, and they are going to be so tired at the end of this lockdown, and they might need our help also later on, because they will be tired of holding us, you know. So that's why it's so important for us to, instead of being in fear, in anxiety of what's gonna happen to my life, to blah blah blah, instead just step in and say, okay, this is the time for me to have more time for myself, to work on myself, finding the right tool for me, and spend more time with my family. Maybe you have issues with your husband, with your kids. This is the perfect time to put things, you know, on the table and say, right, but with your heart, not with your brain. And for that, you need to step back and go into an observing point of view. Okay, right. So I think I've done, you know, really what I wanted to talk about. I'm quite excited. I really can't wait to have you know, comments. If you have questions, don't hesitate. It is something that I'm doing, more I'm passionate about. I'm sorry for my accent. I'm doing my best, but I learned English too late, and I'm still gonna have this French accent attached to it. So if there are some words that I don't say properly, I apologize. You know, in advance, but I am really doing my best, and I really hope this is gonna help you. And just before finishing, to have more information, those two people are really amazing. They have amazing YouTube channel, Greg Braden and Dr. Joe Dispenza, as I showed on the first episode already with his book. Okay, so it's middle of afternoon, so wish you a good afternoon if you are here, and anytime you're gonna watch this video. Love you all. Bye.